What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Batwoman Unmasked from Batman Beyond. And so here we have Batwoman posed and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's run through her accessories really fast. Batwoman does come with 2 pairs of hands. We do get a pair of fists. Then we get a pair of trigger finger hands. She also does come with a red batarang, which does fit in her grip hands. And then we do get some jet boosters, which we did see on Batman Beyond. And then of course she does come with the McFarlane display stand. Other than that, Batwoman doesn't come with any other accessories, so let's actually move on to her details. And so here we have a closer look at Batwoman, and I have to say, really do love this head sculpt. It is done very nicely. I love the work that McFarlane did on it. It's a very soft sculpt and it works perfectly for Batwoman. Love the hair sculpt, love how soft the face looks, and I especially love the lips. I don't know what it is about this particular face that McFarlane made, but it is very gorgeous, and I do find myself liking this head sculpt probably better than a lot of their other female head sculpts, which it's saying a lot because McFarlane has given us some really nice head sculpts. As far as the detailing goes, you can see that Batwoman here does have medium length hair, which is done in black plastic, and it does look really nice. I do like the detailing on it, and one thing I do really appreciate is that it's in a neutral position and it's not blowing in the wind, so we do have this really nice flat hair. Even though it does have some volume to it, it still looks very nice. It honestly reminds me of one of my co-workers. I don't know if they got her likeness or not, and I'm just playing about that, but yeah, it does look very nice, and I do like this head sculpt. Apart from the head sculpt, there's only one other new part to this figure, and that's the fists. The original Batwoman Beyond did not come with fists. She came with the clawing hands and the grip hands. So the fists are a new addition to this particular figure, and if we can get the camera to focus, I really do like the fact that we did get some new accessories with this figure. Love the fist sculpt, and I'm honestly surprised she didn't come with the clawing hands. She came with the trigger finger hands that we saw with the original release, but this is still a very nice figure. Now, as far as detailing goes, it's the exact same sculpt that we had with the original Batwoman, which I'll bring that one out just for comparison. Yeah, besides some paint, basically paint, it's essentially the same figure. It's gonna look and function the same. Everything on it works the same, so you don't really expect too much out of it. Although I do feel like the wings on this one are done in a sturdier plastic than the original one. It's still very cumbersome the way they did the wings. The way McFarlane should have done this is that they can still be articulated, but they should have at least had a way to detach themselves, because it's a very big, bulky accessory that we really don't see too much on Batman and Batwoman, especially in the Beyond series, unless they extend the wings, so don't know why they went that route, but yeah. It's very annoying, these wings. They look like a giant chevron on their back, and it's not really a cape, so it doesn't really function as a cape. We of course still get her blades coming out of the forearm, as well as a clip that connects into the wing right here, which they could have done that a little bit better, but I do understand why they did it. But there's so many other ways that they could have done it. It looks like she has a separate piece coming out of her gauntlet, which isn't the way it's supposed to be. We still have that silver utility belt with the red buckle right here, her red emblem there, and then of course just all black. We still have the panel lining that was present on that original figure, almost like a cowboy boot right here with some more detailing. But yeah, not much is different from the original figure. If anything, just the head and fists are new, because we did see that batarang and boosters with the Batman Beyond figure. So yeah, there's really not much to talk about for Batwoman here. So with that out of the way, let's actually move on to comparisons. Here we have Batwoman posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Batwoman posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Batwoman posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And for one final comparison, here we do have the Unmasked Batwoman posed next to the Target exclusive Batwoman. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually have a look at her articulation. Basically the same that we saw with the original Batwoman Beyond, which is a double ball joint in the head. However, because her hair is a little closer to the neck, we really don't get too much upward movement, but we still get some pretty decent downwards mobility. Her hair does limit the side-to-side movement, but it still does pivot nicely, does turn to the left and right perfectly. She does have that ball joint going into the shoulder, so that does pivot forward and back, up and down, so that works perfectly. Shoulder pad is attached to the bicep, so that does go up and over the shoulder. Does a full 360, just be careful for the wings. Bicep swivel works perfectly fine. We do have a double bend here at the elbow. We do have a ball hinge here at the wrist, which does pivot forward and back, as well as up and down, and rotates on that pin. Just like with the original Batwoman Beyond, if we can move the wings out of the way, she does have a ball joint here at the torso, although mine seems a little bit stiffer than that previous figure. It does lean back to about right there. Doesn't go too far forward, but it does lean forward. Pivots to the side nicely, as well as rotates both at that middle joint and the waist joint, so I do like that. Legs do kick forward to about right there, which is pretty decent. They kick back about that far out to the side, no problem. We do have a slight thigh swivel. We have double bend here at the knee. We have rotation at the foot, as well as a hinge which goes forward and back, so that works nicely. Then we have forward facing pin for rocker ankle, giving her a true rocker ankle if you do rotate both joints. And then we do have a very generous toe hinge. So overall, not much is new on this figure besides the head sculpt, which I think is a much improved sculpt over that original one, but it's one of those instances where I prefer the unmasked look versus the masked look. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get Batwoman posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And finally, here we do have Batwoman posed for my final thoughts, and overall I really do like this version that McFarlane has given us. Now, it is hard for a lot of people to swallow the double purchase on figures, where McFarlane gives us one figure and then that exact same figure with a new head sculpt. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal to me, because the way I see it sometimes is that you can't pose the figure with both head sculpts at the same time. So this is one instance where I actually prefer having both figures, because I like the masked version, but I absolutely love the unmasked version. So I am really happy that McFarlane gave us two versions of the Batwoman figure here. It looks really nice, and I really did like that original figure. This figure I like just as much, maybe even more, because I really do like this unmasked head sculpt. It's one of McFarlane's best at an unmasked figure, and I really do like it. Now, if you're not in the market for picking up both figures, this is the one that's more readily available, where the masked version of Batwoman was a Target exclusive figure. The unmasked version is a mass retail figure, which is a little bit strange, because you would expect the masked figure to be the more readily available than the unmasked version, but that's just the way McFarlane did this particular version. And I think out of the four figures that we've had a look at for the Target exclusive series, I think Batwoman and Blight are probably the two better alternate versions to have, but it never hurts having both of them. But they're still really nice figures in their own right. So if you want to pick up Batwoman, you're going to need to pick up both of them, because this one is unmasked, and I know a lot of people do prefer the masked look. Having the alter ego head is still just as nice as having the superhero head, so it's really up to you which one you prefer, or if you're like me, you're going to pick both up. And this figure will run you about $19.99 at retail. So with that being said, guys, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other DC Multiverse videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.